Good evening, truth seekers. This is the Raw Feed. I am Gary Franchi. Tonight, we're not just reporting the news, we're blowing the lid off stories the mainstream media is desperately trying to bury. So buckle up, because we're about to take you on a high-octane journey through the murky waters of American politics. From the shocking truth behind Kamala's VP pick to the massive money laundering scheme that could change everything. We're leaving no stone unturned. But here's the kicker. We've got exclusive footage that's going to make your jaw hit the floor. JD Vance confronting Kamala Harris on the tarmac today. Yep, we've got that. And the secret GOP plan to oust Ilhan Omar. We are exposing it all. And let me tell you, folks, this is not your grandma's news show. We're diving headfirst into the controversies, the scandals, and the stories that are going to shape the future of our nation. So, whether you're a political junkie or a concerned citizen or just someone who's sick and tired of being fed the same old mainstream media lies, you are in the right place. Remember, your voice matters here on the Raw Feed. Keep the chat fired up, because we'll be featuring your comments throughout the show. And if you really want to make some noise, head on over to Rumble and drop a super rant. This is the Raw Feed, where the truth isn't just reported, it is unleashed. So let's get the show on the road and welcome all of our friends in the chat room. What is up, everybody? Sure, you in the house. Uncontrolled Speech in the house. Jeremy in the house. Sherry in the house. Derek in the house. Folks, tell me where you are watching from. Drop the city, state, country, wherever you are in. This is a global broadcast right here on all of the socials. We're on Rumble, we are on YouTube, we are on X, and we are broadcasting live right now. Pam is in the house, Sandra's in the house, Mama Gotti's in the house. What is up? We got everybody tuning in. So much news to cover on this jam-packed show. I mean, the feeds have been on fire all day today, and it's a little bit overwhelming. But we've got it all packaged up nicely just for you. Remember, your interactions with the chat, leaving comments on the videos, every bit of interaction helps boost the algorithm so we can fight the censorship. As you know, this channel is demonetized, it is deranked, it is shadow banned. Of course, there are reasons for that, because our message is effective. You are effective. So if you want to be even more effective, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things that you need to do to interact with this very video. And again, if you want to support the program, you can go on over to Rumble. You can drop a super rant. Brian will be monitoring that. He will be telling me all the super rants on Rumble as well. If you want to leave a tip for me or Angie, you can do that in the description below. We've got Paula in the house from North Carolina. We got William Flutes from Washington. We got Ben from Wisconsin. So many people tuning in from all over the world. This is a beautiful thing. We got Vancouver Island in the house. We got Richie. YouTube blocked my comments for a day, he says. Well, yeah, doesn't surprise me. We've got Cermic in the house. My goodness, the comments are off the charts here. We got Dave. What's up? Everybody is in the house. Patricia, Marilyn, Genevieve, Christian, Todd, Joyce, Charlie, Phyllis, Richie, Lisa, BZB from Brooklyn, New York. What's up, Brooklyn? Everybody's here. This is so beautiful. Lisa is here from Florida. Dave is in the house. We got Ben. We got Pam. We got Sue. We got Julie, Linda, Virginia. Everybody's here. San Antonio in the house. What is up, San Antonio? Let's see. San Antonio, this is Amy. What's up, Amy? Carlene she's tuning in from Canada. Ooh, you guys got it rough up there. It is rough up there. Yeah. Yeah, Canada, no good. Okay, Sandra's in the house from Ohio. We got William from California, Monica from Georgia, another Canadian here, the Mambo DVS from Toronto. What is up? We got Nelson from Arizona reporting for duty. Lewis, everybody's here. Make sure, if you're not following us on X yet, you need to do that, because it's kind of a way for you to get a sneak peek at some of the things that I will be covering, because I do retweet things, and you might just find those on the show to get a little flavor. But we also need you to be on X so you can repost this live feed. If you're watching on X right now, hit that repost and get this out to your followers so we can have the largest reach possible. You guys are in control of how we get this message out, and we love you for it. Okay, let's jump into this now. We got our first story of the evening. Kamala. Oh, yes. We've got Kamala's VP pick scandal, Trump's response. Let's jump into it, shall we? Kamala's VP pick and Donald Trump's response. Yes, folks, hold on to your hats because we are diving headfirst into the political firestorm that is Kamala's VP pick. Tim Walz might look like America's dad on the surface, but we've uncovered some skeletons in his closet that will make your skin crawl, from stolen valor allegations to a scandal involving something involving a horse. Yeah, that's what is actually trending right now. And wait till you hear Trump's reaction. He's not pulling any punches. Is this the beginning of the end for Kamala's campaign? Stay tuned because this story is hotter than a Minnesota summer. Now, speaking of hot, folks, the political landscape isn't the only thing heating up. As we navigate these turbulent times, it's crucial to protect your financial future. Just like Kamala's VP pick is shaking things up, global economic shifts are impacting your wealth. Gold prices have surpassed $2,400 an ounce, reflecting a weakening U.S. dollar. Don't let political uncertainty erode your savings. Global Gold Investments offers a 5-year IRA fee waiver program and expert guidance to secure your financial future. There's a number on the screen, 888-700-4148. Give them a call or just visit the link in the description, IRAGoldproof.com. Make sure you mention Next News for VIP treatment. In times of political upheaval, gold remains a stable haven. Okay, folks, let's transition into all the stuff that we have got lined up for you right now. First of all, this is what Donald Trump just posted moments ago on his Truth Social feed.
That what he's doing, what he wants. Well, I'm going to be doing that. What he's doing, what he wants. If you look at his record with no walls, no security, let everybody in, he's worse than they are. You know, nobody knew how radical left she was, but he's a smarter version of her. If you want to know the truth, he's probably about the same as Bernie Sanders. He's probably more so than Bernie Sanders. She is more so than Bernie Sanders. That's got to be your guide, Bernie Sanders, and that's not a great guide. But there's never been a ticket like this. This is a ticket that would want this country to go communist immediately, if not sooner. We want no security. We want no anything. He's very heavy into transgender. Anything transgender he thinks is great. And he's not where the country is on anything.
Mr. President,
this is a shocking. Let me tell you, this is a shocking pick, and I think it's very insulting to Jewish people, and I think it's very insulting to people that want security. I think it's very insulting to anything having to do with making America great again. Well, I'm going to be doing.
Okay, so now you've got Donald Trump's reaction immediately. This was just posted just a short while ago, but so much, as you can see here, we've got to get through. I don't even know where to begin because it's so much happening. I guess the real big story right now is the stolen valor of Walz. Now, this is just in CNN confirming that Tim Walz stolen valor was never in combat. This is coming to us from Amuse over on X. He says, holy crap, is Kamala Harris considering dumping Tim Walz? Wouldn't that be interesting? I don't know how they could go ahead and pull that off. That'd be too much of a shakeup. But you know what? This election cycle has been the craziest election cycle I've ever covered. So nothing really will shock me. Let's take a look here. This is what is going on over on CNN, of all places.
Walz did make a comment, speaking to a group, he's done it a couple of times, where he has used language that has suggested that he carried weapons in a fighting situation. As you know, with your contact with the military, I know from coming from a military family, there is a difference between being in a combat area, being involved at a time of war, and actually being in a position where people are shooting at you. There is no evidence that at any time Governor Walz was in a position of being shot at, And some of his language could easily be seen to suggest that he was. So that is absolutely false when he said that about gun rights out there.
Okay, so what he's referencing here, we actually have one of the clips of him speaking in that capacity, discussing the carrying of arms. We've got some veterans' reactions. Look at this. Look at this headline. This is the headline from the New York Post. Kamala's ad lib. Veep nod for Minnesota Governor Walz makes most radical ticket in history out of left field. We got the footage from the tarmac, but this is what Cernovich just posted from an event where Tim Walz was speaking, and this is what that CNN reporter was referencing.
All right, I spent 20. Hope woke up like many of you did 5 weeks ago and Dad said, Dad, you're the only person I know who's in elected office. You need to stop what's happening with this. I'll take my kick in the butt for the NRA. I spent 25 years in the Army and I hunt. And I gave the money back, and I'll tell you what I have been doing. I've been voting for common sense legislation that protects the Second Amendment, but we can do background checks. We can do CDC research. We can make sure we don't have reciprocal carry among states. And we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at.
There it is. Did you hear that?
We can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at. Reciprocal carry among states, and we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war.
There it is. That is the statement that CNN was actually referencing. Now, the fact of Kamala considering dumping Tim Walz, I think that's a stretch. Let's take a look at this is Vance calling out Walz. This is Real America's Voice. This was just posted just a short while ago. Calling into the John Solomon Show. Let's take a listen to what Vance had to say.
Well, for most of the last 15 years, including when on the official Minnesota government website, the governor's website, Tim Walz has claimed that he was a command master, sergeant major. That's the top enlisted man in a battalion. And while he temporarily held that title, he didn't complete his obligations, and so he was stripped of that title, and he was demoted back down to a sergeant master, a full rank below. That is according to the Minnesota National Guard, which confirmed this morning. So he is misusing a title. When he said he was a sergeant major, he may have been a major liar because he did not have the right to claim that title. He was bumped down specifically because he didn't complete his obligations, including training and education that were required to keep the title. So, this is a big issue because the military background for him is something that the Democrats were hoping to be a plus. Now it has the potential to be a minus. And most importantly, this isn't coming from anonymous sources. It's on the record from the Minnesota National Guard where he served. They are confirming he misused the title. Wow. He had a demoted title. He shouldn't be using that new title. Or he shouldn't have been using that higher title, and he's continued to do it for political gain. That's why JD Vance was able to take such a quick shot at this. This issue's been around since 2018 when he ran for first governor, but it was mostly contained to a couple of attack ads that were paid for by former National Guardsmen. Now.
Okay, so my bad. I thought this was actually Vance calling into the show, but we do, I believe, have the reaction from Vance. Now, we've got some CNN footage here I want to show you as well. This was C-SPAN posted just hours ago, and this is actually Vance's reaction. He's being asked a question. Press. It's hard to make out the question.
Well, look, I came from a family where nobody in my family had ever gone to law school. I grew up in a poor family. The fact that Tim Walz wants to turn it into a bad thing, that I actually worked myself through college, through law school, and made something myself, to me, that's the American dream. And if Tim Walz wants to insult it, I think that's frankly pretty bizarre. Now, look, what really bothers me about Tim Walz, it's not even the positions that he's taken, though certainly he has been a far left radical. You know what really bothers me about Tim Walz as a Marine who served his country in uniform? When the United States Marine Corps, when the United States of America asked me to go to Iraq to serve my country, I did it. I did what they asked me to do it, and I did it honorably, and I'm very proud of that service. When Tim Walz was asked by his country to go to Iraq, you know what he did? He dropped out of the Army and allowed his unit to go without him, a fact that he's been criticized for aggressively by a lot of the people that he served with. I think it's shameful to prepare your unit to go to Iraq, to make a promise that you're going to follow through, and then to drop out right before you actually have to go. I also think it's dishonest. Something, again, if you guys ever get an opportunity to ask Tim Walz or Kamala Harris some questions, he made this interesting comment that the Kamala Harris campaign put out there, and I bet they're regretting they put it out there now, because he said that and he was making a point about gun control, he said we shouldn't allow weapons that I used in war to be on America's streets. Well, I wonder, Tim Walz, when were you ever in war? What was this weapon that you carried into war, given that you abandoned your unit right before they went to Iraq, and he has not spent a day in a combat zone? What bothers me about Tim Walz is the stolen valor garbage. Do not pretend to be something that you're not. And if he wants to criticize me for getting an Ivy League education, I'm proud of the fact that my mamaw supported me, that I was able to make something of myself. I'd be ashamed if I was him and I lied about my military service like he did.
So right there, Vance referencing the clip that we just played for you, talking about carrying weapons into war. So much is happening right now. I want to get to, there was a really remarkable moment today that I think was pretty ballsy of Vance, because Kamala and Vance were actually at the same airport at the same time. And what did Vance do? He decided to actually walk up and confront her. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz run from reporters just moments after JD Vance spoke with them about his potential new plane. Hideaway Harris. Harris appears to be afraid of reporters, considering she has avoided them at all costs. Now, this is a split screen. I don't want to play that just yet, because I want to play the actual moment when he walked up. Okay, this is JD Vance physically walking up to Kamala's plane to ask her why she won't take questions. Now, there's Vance walking up to Air Force Two. Okay, I think we got some better footage of that I want to show. This is the epic photo that is just circulating all over the web right now. This is Vance walking away from the plane where Kamala Harris was literally hiding. Now, okay, so this is moments after that. Moments after that, a reporter asks Kamala about the allegations of stolen valor that CNN just reported on, that everyone's talking about right now. And she just walks away. Ready for this?
Governor, Vance accused you of stolen valor. Your response.
Ooh.
Governor.
This is par for the course. Bring out the kids, get the photo op, ignore the press. No accountability here. None at all. Just pretend like those questions are never coming at you. That's what we have here in this campaign. Governor, if you keep asking. Now, this continues. Kyle Becker also tweeting, stolen valor. Tim Walz is a stolen valor socialist. Now Special Forces vets are calling him out. This is Green Beret. Hey, Tim, is this you? And you can see this picture where he is wearing the hat that has the crest of the unit that he never had any deployments on. Never went into Special Forces at all, but he's just wearing the hat just to get the points. Now, Alpha News, Colin Rugg also tweeting this. This is a veteran's response. Minnesota National Guard confirms Tim Walz did not retire as a command sergeant major like he has publicly claimed. And they state that he was demoted. Let's listen in.
Newspaper. He's back again to wage a public war of words against Tim Walz.
He abandoned us. I mean, what the hell kind of leader does that? I mean, as soon as the shots were fired in Iraq, he turned and ran the other way and hung his hat up and quit.
We'll get to Barron's new message for voters in a moment. But this all starts years earlier when Barron says Walz' misleading statements about his military service first led him to come forward in the fall of 2018.
So you try to get this message out, but Minnesota's largest newspaper checks it out, says it's 100% true, but yet refuses to print.
When I hung the phone up, I said, what the hell is this, North Korea?
Back in 2005, a warning order went out to the 1st Battalion, 125th Field Artillery to mobilize for a mission to Iraq. At the time, Walz served as the unit's highest non-commissioned officer, but months later, Walz would retire from the Guard, avoid the deployment, and run for Congress. Tom Barron was next in line for the position and was asked to take his place.
I was like, well, for Pete's sake, if this guy quit, and if I say I'm not going to do it, I mean, what the hell kind of leadership is that? If a company would say that we're going to deploy to Iraq or somewhere and you're going to be gone for whatever amount of time, and then a foreman just says, no, I'm not going. I mean, what does that say to the 500 people that work in that factory?
Barron would go on to serve in Iraq on a nearly 2-year deployment as a command sergeant major. All while Walz began using that title as a congressman.
Wow.
Barron says he first contacted Walz with his concerns, sending these letters to Washington. They all went unanswered.
But then we fast forward to the election in 2018 in Minnesota, and you try at that time to get people's attention with this story and also with what seems to be a very misleading statement that he continued to make about his service.
It kind of just sat there, when he was a congressman, he bragged that he was a retired command sergeant major. I'm the highest ranking person ever in the House, and all this lie that he was telling. The state of Minnesota came out after 2018, after this was exposed, and they said, well, he can say that he served as a command sergeant major, but he can't say he's a retired one because he's not.
And that's what he was saying.
Wow. So this is all blowing up right now. Everyone is talking about it. This is the big story. Let's go back to the tarmac where this is that split screen I wanted to play for you. This is actually when Vance went up to the cameras to talk.
I figured I'd come by. Hopefully it's going to be my plane in a few months, but I also thought you guys might get lonely because the vice president doesn't answer questions from reporters and hasn't for 17 days. Have they given you guys an explanation for why she won't take questions from reporters? No? Nobody? Okay, great. Well, I hope that she changes her mind because it'd be good for the American people, and I think it'd be good for you all if she actually ran a real campaign instead of one from a basement with a teleprompter. So have a good one, guys. See ya.
Yeah. See, she's avoiding the press. She's avoiding the scrutiny. And what does Vance do? He just goes in and pulls a coup on the press corps that is actually there to cover Kamala. And he goes and talks to them and says, why isn't she answering the questions? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful moment. Here's more on that. Vance on the same tarmac. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so this is him actually walking up. Look at that. It looks like that same Secret Service agent from July 13th is there.
I figured I'd come by and wanted to see a good look at the plane because hopefully it's going to be my plane in a few months. But I also thought you guys might get lonely because the vice president doesn't answer questions from.
Yep. Now, there's a story that's floating around. It's a little crass, to say the least. But I want to bring it up because if you have been paying any attention, you know that Walz he pulled a joke yesterday about this another fake story about Vance and a couch. Okay. A very juvenile story. And now there is an allegation that is floating around that revolves around, well, you can see it on the screen. Look up from whatever you're doing and read that. I don't even want to let those words come out of my mouth. Tim Walz and the horse problem in Minnesota. This is the story that's going around right now. I mean, it's all over. Illinois Tea Party conservative. This is who the Democrats choose to be their VP nominee. Disgusting. And here's the claim. This is supposedly an AP screenshot. And you can read it. Just read it to yourself right there. It's on the screen. What does it say? Yeah. He had to have his stomach pumped because he drank something. And I don't believe this is true. But this is all over Reddit. The memes are everywhere. 220 comments on this screenshot 8 hours ago. Here's the memes going around. Did Tim Walz actually do this? According to this, yeah, this is pretty crazy. Personally, I think this is all in response to the Vance claim with the couch thing. This is just sort of a counter to that. Another internet rumor, if you will. But what is not a rumor is what Tim Walz wants to do with speech. See, these people do not care about the Constitution. That's a fact. They want to destroy this country, turn it into a communist state, making everybody dependent upon the government, opening up the floodgates at the border, people from third world nations who have no understanding of the foundation of this country, people who are easy to control, people who are desperate. They take the handouts. So they don't even understand. They come from a third world dictatorship, so going to the United States, which is turning into a third world dictatorship, doesn't change anything for them. So this is 6 hours ago.
Back on this. I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation. I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy. I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on
There's no guarantee to free speech.
Information or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
First of all, it's a republic. Let me correct you. And yes, we have free speech. We can say whatever we want. We can post whatever we want. Even the misinformation of these alleged horse incidents with Walz. So this is all happening right now. This is all breaking news. Yeah, you can see the memes are absolutely killing it on that. Base Patriot, I think there might be a big problem for the Democrats. Top Google search for Tim Walz horse blank is trending big time. I mean, you guys see what's going on here. It is wild. I mean, it's just another internet rumor. But again, what's really important is that we have a vice presidential candidate who is literally has stolen valor. CNN even reporting that fact. So if that doesn't shake up your view of the Kamala Walz ticket, I don't know what will. From stolen valor to bizarre scandals, it's clear the Democrats' vetting process is about as thorough as a TSA pat-down. And with Trump firing on all cylinders, this race is far from over. So keep your eyes peeled and your ears open, because if tonight's revelations are any indication, we're in for one wild ride all the way to Election Day. Stay tuned, because this story is just getting started, and you can bet your bottom dollar that Raw Feed will be here to bring you every shocking detail as it unfolds. Okay, let's jump into the chat room and get your reactions on that crazy story. Holy cow. Oh my. I don't even want to know. I mean, especially when you think about the horse situation. Oh, yeah, and the DUIs, of course. Yeah, the DUIs that's another thing. What else we got? War will stop the election. Let's just hope we don't get there. With what's happening in the Middle East, the tensions are ratcheting up. Apparently, Egypt has put out a message to clear the skies at a certain time today. Rumor mill is in overdrive with respect to an Iranian attack on Israel. And of course, with Russia stepping in, assisting them with weapons, while simultaneously calling for de-escalation, anything's possible. Okay. We've got, I hope God will bless us and not have no democracy in office this time. Whoa, Nelly, says Mr. Ed. Holy cow. Yes, he apparently likes horses. That's the rumor. I don't personally believe it, but, you know, when things start to trend on X, people start to react and becomes a reality. James, yeah, you can see what the story is about. He was in the Navy too. Yeah. See what Chuck Todd says about stolen valor. What's up, our Boyd? Laura Loomer video of Kamala double during Biden. Oh, yes, I remember that. Yeah. They sent out a double. It was clearly not her. Where is the grown-ups discussion page? This is a disgusting display of juvenile idiocy. Well, you know, we're just bringing to you what's happening in the world right now. So we're going to get into the rally for Kamala in a little bit later in the show, but let's jump into our next topic. Ilhan Omar's potential ousting and squad member threats. Patriots get ready for a political chess move that could change the game in Congress. We've uncovered a plan that could send Ilhan Omar packing. That's right. The controversial congresswoman might be on her way out, and that's all to a little-known rule in Minnesota's open primary, but that's not all we've got. Chilling footage of the squad member Cori Bush threatening violence after her big election loss. Is this the radical left showing its true colors? Buckle up, because the story is about to blow the lid off the Democrats' facade of unity. Now, in these uncertain times, protecting your wealth is more crucial than ever. Just as we are exposing the instability in Congress, you need to shield your finances from economic turmoil. Gold prices have surpassed $2,400 an ounce, signaling a weakening U.S. dollar. Don't let your hard-earned money become a casualty of political chaos. Global Gold Investments offers a 5-year IRA fee waiver program and expert guidance to secure your financial future. Call that number on the screen, 888-700-4148, or visit IRAGoldproof.com. You'll find a link in the description. Mention Next News for VIP treatment. While politicians play chess with our country, make your move to protect your wealth with gold. Okay, let's jump into this. Okay, we're going to go into what is happening here. This is squad member. This is the story of the moment. The squad being dealt a fatal blow today, losing another member of their radical team. Squad member Cori Bush loses congressional primary. Thank God. We could not have her in office any longer. Now, Laura Loomer posting that after her election last night, the Hamas supporter and squad member Cori Bush said she is now radicalized. Really? From Congress? I mean, she was already radical. Let's listen to what she had to say.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Let's talk about what it really is. Because see, now I don't have to worry about some strings that I have attached, and as much as I love my job, but all they did was radicalize me, and so now they need to be afraid.
Oh, be afraid, huh?
See, now they about to see this other Cori, this other side, because there.
Yeah, the other side?
Trump.
Wow. Now, this is where it gets interesting. And Laura brings up a really strong point here. And this is where we all need to be paying very close attention, especially if you are in the state of Minnesota. Okay, so we've already got one squad member out. Thank God. Now, this is what she brings up, that in 2022, Ilhan Omar, another squad member, barely won her primary by 2,466 votes. She reports that if 5,000 Republicans cast their ballot against her in the primary on August 13th, she will be removed from office. Wouldn't you love to see that? Ilhan Omar sent packing. Some people did something. Minnesota has an open primary, so if you live in Minnesota and you're a Republican, I'm calling on you to vote. Vote for Ilhan Omar's Democrat opponent in the August 13th primary. That's coming up. You are allowed to do this in an open primary. Omar almost lost in 2022. If 5,000 GOP voters cross over to vote against her on the 13th, we can remove her from office. This needs to happen, so tell everyone that you know who lives in Minnesota. We got one squad member down. We need to have another. These people are literal threats to democracy. That's the term they love to throw around, right? Well, these people really are. Republicans have a shot of removing Ilhan Omar from office August 13th. Make Ilhan Omar the third squad member to be removed. She reiterates, Minnesota has an open primary. This means a voter can participate in the party primary of his or her choice, whether residents of the district are Republicans, Independents, or Democrats. They can all vote in the Ilhan Omar primary on August 13th. Friends, that is just days away. Do you know somebody in Minnesota? Do you know somebody in that district? You better get over there. You better let them know. People don't realize Omar can actually lose the primary if the Republicans understand they can vote in this election. If you're a Republican, you can vote against Ilhan Omar in the upcoming Minnesota primary on August 13th. Make sure you do this. We have a shot of making Omar lose. Tell everyone you know. And then Loomer takes a jab right at the heart of the GOP, because the GOP, the strategy, I mean, we have some new leadership there, so I want to give them some time, but still, she brings up a point that it's negligence that the House GOP, the RNC, and the NRCC are not taking advantage of this. This is the messaging that needs to go out, and that is why we are bringing it to you. Get her out of here. Wow, that's amazing. Vote her out. Open primary, August 13th. Ilhan Omar needs to be replaced with an America First candidate, not Somalia. Please make this happen. 2 down, 6 to go. August 13th. Continuing, yes, we've been covering this. Tim Walz abandoned his fellow soldiers and quit the military when he learned his unit would be sent to Iraq. We can only hope she loses. She is a pro at ballot harvesting and using drop boxes. Question raised, do the 200,000 imported Minnesota Somalis get a vote in this primary? Curious. You know what to do, Minnesota? Please get out and vote. I have no idea how she hasn't been expelled. She's literally anti-American and pro-terrorism. And here you have Cori Bush out. Thank God. Yeah, this guy here. This tweet should be reposted by everyone. Well, we're doing one better. We're broadcasting it here live. We're putting out the call to action. Democrats repeatedly do this in Republican primaries. They made the rules, so let them drown in them. Remember all the people that crossed over in the Republican primary to vote against Trump? Yes, she has no loyalty to this nation that has treated her so well. So there you have it, folks. The squad might be fracturing before our very eyes, with Omar potentially on her way out and Bush showing the violent underbelly of the radical left. This is not just about a few congressional seats. It's about the soul of our nation. So as we watch these events unfold, remember your voice matters. Stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay tuned to the Raw feed. We'll be here bringing you every development as it happens, cutting through the noise to bring you the truth. The battle for America's future is raging on, and we are just getting started. Okay, let's check back in and see what you guys are talking about on this topic. Oh, I got a question. Brian just whispered in my ear. Are you talking about YouTube ads, Brian? If you're watching this live stream, I need to ask you if you are seeing YouTube ads placed on this video or any other videos. And the reason we're asking is because this channel is demonetized. And I have received reports that YouTube is just, they said that our content is harmful. You know, it's harming somebody. I don't know if it's feelings or I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. But if the content is too harmful for us to receive monetization, then why would they be placing ads on that same content? If that's the case, then what they're doing is they're literally stealing the ad revenue from me that is due to this channel. So drop a comment if you are seeing ads that are being placed by YouTube. And because we're demonetized, we need support. We need people like you to chip in the donation links, in the tip links down below to support us. And I see donations coming in all the time, and I'm so thankful to everybody who is giving, whether it's PayPal, whether it is Give, Send, Go. People send checks, and we're so grateful. What, Brian? Yeah, you can go to Rumble. You could watch there. You can become a subscriber on Rumble. We're trying to get that more active. So there's a lot you can do. Super rants you can do as well. But most importantly, we want to find out if you're actually seeing ads. So Brian, monitor the chat there. Okay, looks like I'm seeing some messages coming in from Rumble. Salty nationalist in the house. Most people saying no. No YouTube ads on my end. Shelly says, I always get ads when watching you and others. Interesting. I'm worried about them activating sleeper cells if Trump gets back into office. So am I. So am I, especially with the tensions going on in the Middle East. Jeremy is posting the link to Give, Send, Go. Brian, if you want to pin that, I'd appreciate that, please. So people can know exactly where they can give. Glenn says he sees ads for Kamala on YouTube. Are you seeing ads for Kamala on this channel? That's a question we need to know. Will you ever interview Russell J. Gould? I don't know. Julie says, how can I donate? Julie, there's a link in the description of the video. You can make a donation, and we would be sincerely grateful for that. Adam says, no ads, but I have premium. So if you wouldn't see ads if you have premium. Dave, no ads on this channel today. Dave's in the house. Oh no, monkeypox. Yeah, that's another story we're going to be covering today as well. Bella says, harmful content. LOL, my comments are hidden most of the time. I still get 24 hours off. Ads for Kamala, see them all the time, now everywhere. Glenn says, I have not been watching N3 until recently, so we thank you for everyone tuning in and watching and sharing the feed. Very important that you do so. Let's jump into our next topic here of the program. Topic number 3. This is wild. This is a big story. This actually just dropped some really interesting new information I'm going to be sharing with you about the ActBlue controversy. James O'Keefe dropping some new truth bombs. ActBlue money laundering scheme has been exposed. Yes, truth seekers, hold on to your wallets because we're about to dive into a financial scandal that will make your head spin. We've uncovered shocking evidence of a massive money laundering scheme involving ActBlue, the Democrats' golden goose of fundraising. We're talking thousands of unauthorized donations, people being charged for contributions they never made, and a paper trail that leads right to Kamala's campaign coffers. How did she raise $100 million so quickly? Well, folks, we may just have that answer. This isn't just about a few misplaced dollars. It's about the integrity of our entire electoral system. And speaking of integrity, folks, while politicians are playing fast and loose with campaign finances, it's more important than ever to keep your own house in order. As summer heats up, so are energy bills, with 20 million households falling behind on payments. But there is a solution. Our sponsor's innovative mini AC unit cools any room in minutes, slashing your energy bills, perfect for home, office, even camping. Provides up to 25 hours of cold air. Don't let greedy power companies drain your wallet. Visit EasySummerCool.com for up to 60% off today. Stay cool while we keep the heat on these political scandals. Now let's jump right into it here. This was just posted. Just a few hours ago, James O'Keefe is on the case. A Texas woman denying thousands of ActBlue donations. There is no way I made all of these. Texas Sheriff's Office responding. Just in on ActBlue. There's no way I made all those, says Barbara Staples of Spring, Texas. Shocked to learn. ActBlue listed her as making, are you ready for this? 1,600 donations. 1,600. Totaling $13,000. Including 53 transactions in a single day. Where are the credit card companies on this? You'd think that the fraud detection would just be sparked like that. I can't even make a transaction with my credit card that I don't get a text message that says suspicious. 53 transactions? Now, of course, it's not likely coming from her direct account or her debit or credit card. These are probably straw accounts that are set up in order to distribute these funds across multiple donors. Gerda Henderson facing similar issues with $33,000 in unauthorized donations over 484 days. Despite only approving a few dollars, she had to close her credit card due to fraudulent charges. Okay, here's a case where maybe her card was fraudulently charged. Stating she stopped it all and canceled it all out. Unlike most other fundraising platforms, ActBlue does not require a CVV number on transactions. That is a very, very important point. CVV, the little 3 numbers on the back of your debit or credit card, that helps to cut down on fraud. When asked if she approved the transactions, she replied no. OMG contacted the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office for comment. And in response, they issued a statement saying it appears that both donors made voluntary contributions through ActBlue. One donor was reimbursed after contesting some of the charges, while others cannot recall whether all or only some of the donors were authorized. And now we're learning that the current revolt reveals that the Texas office of the Attorney General ActBlue investigation has been stalled since January by First Assistant Brent Webster, stating Attorney General Ken Paxton isn't fully aware of the investigation, as Webster has been withholding information. Wow. Let's take a look. This is the video that has just dropped from James O'Keefe.
We had a lot of problems with ActBlue, and most all of that was all refunded.
No,
that doesn't.
Ridiculous.
You've never had a day where you maybe donated 53 times?
No.
Okay.
No, not anything even remotely close to that.
Okay, so some of these, did you approve them all?
No. No.
They think you won't notice it. Yeah, but she didn't donate to them. They just get the information from your credit card and pass it to the next person. Unless once you sign up with ActBlue, that's their tactic.
Wow.
Continuing our series of investigations into ActBlue, OMG found ourselves in Texas speaking with elderly citizens Barbara Staples, Gerda Henderson, and Gerda's husband, Mr. Henderson. Furthering the theory of elderly citizens being victimized, Barbara and Gerda state there is no way they made these donations to ActBlue when presented with Federal Election Commission or FEC data. As for Barbara Staples, between the year 2020 and 2022, we at OMG found over 1,600 transactions amounting to a grand total of $13,000. The most shocking finding was a total of 53 different transactions in one day. That's ridiculous, Barbara exclaims.
Are you Barbara Staples? Oh, hi. It indicates you contributed, first of all, let me give you the big picture. And it's 2020, 2022, 1,600 transactions, about $13,000.
Yeah, like November 2nd, it says that the number of transactions, like donation transactions that day was 53 in one day. Does that?
No.
That doesn't.
Ridiculous.
You've never had a day where you maybe donated 53 times?
No.
Okay.
May 13th, 2020, 5 times, 14th, 5 times, 16th, maybe 7 times.
There's no way I made all those.
Shockingly, Barbara Staples even stated she had never donated to ActBlue at all.
Have you donated ever to ActBlue?
No.
Never.
Oh, you never have. Any?
Never, not, wow.
How about Biden for, it's Biden for P, that could be Pennsylvania. Any Biden that you'd set up? No. Again, you never set up anything to the best of your memory. I think so.
Not anything, even remotely close to that. No, I would never.
Okay.
That many times?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
Seriously.
Across town, Gerda Henderson and her husband were shown to have donated around $33,000 according to FEC data. Mrs. Henderson and her husband told us they've had ongoing problems with ActBlue, having lots of donations refunded that they never authorized or set up.
Yeah, I wanted to see if Gerda Henderson is available. Yeah. Is that you?
No, it's not last.
Hi, are you Miss Henderson?
I am.
Okay, probably over $33,000, 484 days in totaling transactions. In those days, about 6,000.
We had a lot of problems with ActBlue,
Uh-huh.
and most all of that was all refunded.
All of these were refunded. A lot of I'll show you.
A lot of, if not all of it.
July 21, 22. It's all small dollar amounts. $11, $10, 6, 3. Does that look like?
They think you won't notice it. Yeah, but she didn't donate to them. They just get the information from your credit card and pass it to the next person or whatever. It's what it seemed like.
We stopped it all and canceled it all out.
Okay.
And it hasn't happened since because I had to shut down that card.
Is it something you had approved for them to take recurring?
I gave $3 or $5 or something, but not everyone was okayed by me.
Well, like you see there were 20 of them in one single day hit. You know, maybe she only donated to one of them.
Okay, so some of these, did you approve them all?
No.
No. Gerda and her husband equated the ActBlue situation to a scam.
Well, we've heard on news from time to time where they were investigating this kind of stuff going on, and how people think they was making one donations and sometime or they hit the wrong button or something and they just run wild with the card.
So do you think they almost did it deliberately, manipulated something in the fine print?
Well, it did. Yeah, it seemed like it.
There was no indication again that.
No, not at the time,
Unless once you sign up with ActBlue, that's their tactic.
We reached out to the Montgomery Sheriff's Office, and their response was, quote, "It appears that both donors made voluntary donations through ActBlue. One was reimbursed when some of the charges were contested, and the other cannot recall if only some or if all donations were authorized." Current Revolt highlighted OMG's investigation with additional information pertaining to the Texas Attorney General's office. Quote, "Sources have told us that the Texas office of the Attorney General has been sitting on an investigation into ActBlue since January of this year.
Sitting on it.
But the case has been stalled by First Assistant Brent Webster. So why would the Texas Attorney General's office sit on a case of money laundering, identity theft, and fraud that exceeds a grand total of hundreds of billions of dollars. Well, according to Current Revolt's latest article on ActBlue, they state, quote, "Our sources told us the Attorney General Ken Paxton isn't fully aware of the investigation, as Webster has been withholding information and updates. ActBlue has hired Paul Singer to represent them in Texas, who is recently the deputy in charge of civil litigation at the Office of Attorney General and a friend of Brent Webster. We've been told Webster is withholding this information from Attorney General Paxton to seek favor with the firm Singer works for as a sort of insurance policy for his next job when he leaves the Texas Office of the Attorney General," unquote. We have evidence that ActBlue's structured money laundering scheme in Texas is still happening in 24. We cannot confirm the amount of donations that are fraudulent, which is why we need you citizens in Texas, to go on the ground, knock on doors, and help us continue our investigation into ActBlue. Stay tuned.
Wow. This is big, my friends. 5 days ago, Virginia Attorney General requesting answers from ActBlue regarding the serious allegations, stating my office has become aware of multiple serious allegations that ActBlue, ActBlue Civics, and ActBlue Charities, together ActBlue, have engaged in fraudulent, deceptive, and or otherwise illegal activities in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So this is all happening right now. Now, this is another call to action from the O'Keefe Media Group here. Let's take a look.
On the state in question, let's say you want to go knock on a door in your neighborhood and expose the ActBlue situation. You go to electionwatch.info and you're going to scroll down and see a map of the United States. You're going to click on the state in question, let's say it's Florida, and you will see the top names of the number of transactions and the total amount given at the very top. There's an advanced search feature, so you click on the gear, advanced search, and when you get to that drop-down menu, type in your zip code, and then it takes you to all the people in your neighborhood. So knock on these people's doors. You know, you don't even need a hidden camera. Just use your iPhone and say, hey, I want to ask you about this. You seem to be a victim of a money laundering scheme.
Wow.
Can I come in for a minute? I'm a journalist. I'm a citizen journalist. Get a copy of their bank statement. Make sure it's redacted. I will personally pay you $3,000 for that video. So let's see how many of you want to do that.
$3,000 he is paying patriots to step up and investigate. I mean, that's one hell of an incentive, if you ask me, other than just uncovering the rot at ActBlue. Holy cow, $3,000 to take action with with O'Keefe Media Group. Now, I want to play this clip of Rubio in a second, but this is a really interesting video that was published that's related to this. It raises the question about how Kamala raised so much money.
Small dollar donor. I can't be the only person who's disturbed by these figures of how much money she's raised in one day, or who also doesn't believe them.
Yeah, did Kamala Harris actually raise $81 million in 24 hours? And over $100 million in 36 hours, mostly from small dollar donors, according to Democratic fundraising platform ActBlue. I mean, those numbers would be astronomical for anyone, let alone a candidate who received a whopping 844 votes in the 2020 Democratic primary. So I can understand why people are a little sus about those numbers. And looking into this, things are about to get real murky, and I am not sure if people are gonna like what I found. So I'm citing a 2023 article in the Carolina Journal. Investigation indicates ActBlue potentially laundered fraudulent political donations. An investigative journalist from North Carolina, Stephen Horn, has made a significant discovery in the Federal Election Commission database, revealing a scheme to potentially launder fraudulent political donations through multiple left-wing organizations, including ActBlue. Remember, ActBlue is the primary Democratic fundraising platform online. All right, so Horn and two other volunteers, Kelly Lane and Steve, unearthed evidence of two Raleigh residents whose names and addresses were employed to record substantial amounts of money donated to Democratic organizations. And just so everybody's aware, platforms like ActBlue are required to disclose political contributions to the FEC, including who made the donation, when they made it, their address, and the amount of the donation. Look at this data. This is so bizarre. One donor, same day, just dozens of contributions. By the way, this is all public information, so you can go to the FEC website, do a search, see what you find. All right, the article goes on. However, a perplexing twist emerged when both individuals emphatically stated their inability to contribute such exorbitant sums.
Wow. There was a flurry of donations made in your name. About 20 donations. Have you ever donated to ActBlue?
Yeah.
Okay. These donations made, do they look familiar to you at all?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, so you can see there's a bunch of $100 donations in your name with this address and everything. Oh, well, those are good. Jeez Louise.
I did not make a flurry of,
One would remember that.
You can't watch that and tell me something fishy is not going on. The result of these investigations suggests that the ActBlue fundraising platform is being used to launder fraudulent political donations using the names and addresses of ordinary citizens. If the individual whose name and address is on a contribution did not in fact make that contribution, it seems likely that the money is coming from a source which would not be legally able to make the contribution directly. That is wild. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying that's what's going on right now because we don't have the data for that. The FEC website is only updated, or the disclosure only happens on a monthly basis. But what I am saying is that based on past reporting, I should probably ask a few more questions as to where the hundreds of millions of dollars actually came from. Or maybe it's just...
Yeah. That's huge, friends. So if you're wondering, Magnolia Moonshine, if you're wondering how Democrats raised a supposed $81 million for Kamala in such a short time, it seems as if it's an ActBlue money laundering scheme using people's names and addresses without their consent or knowledge. Robbie Starbuck posting, Chris, for a Republican, you sure donate a lot to ActBlue and the Democrat Senate Fundraising Committee. Look at that. Look at all these donations. This is a Republican. Look at all these donations. This is a scourge. Here's another one. Another donor in Brighton, Michigan, donated over 2,500 times since October of 23. Their listed address is a retirement home. The question raised, is ActBlue scamming a retiree by convincing them to repeatedly sign up for recurring contributions? And we covered this just the other day. This was really startling, and it bears repeating.
Over 30 times from... Hello, everyone. I'm sitting here with my mother, and I decided to take a look at the election watch to see if my mother's name was safe and secure, with her name being used for contributions, and we found out that her name was being used over 30 times for Bernie Sanders contributions. Mom, did you make any contributions to Bernie Sanders?
Absolutely not.
Angie Jones from Indiana submitted a video of her mother, Alberta Jones, who goes by Mrs. Robert Jones, saying she did not donate to ActBlue or a Bernie Sanders PAC, as the FEC records show, from 2019 to 2024.
So you're positive you didn't make any?
I'm very positive. I have bank records that show where my contributions went.
Great. So you would turn those records over to me to prove that you didn't make these contributions?
Yes, indeed.
Alberta Jones gave O'Keefe Media her consent to show these bank records, proving during the time period of 2019, no donations were given to ActBlue at all.
How does that make you feel that your name was used?
I feel violated.
I'm sure you probably do. Well, I'm going to be turning this over to James O'Keefe, and hopefully we can get something done so we can stop this dark money from coming in. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Recent FEC records also show the Jones household, Alberta as Mrs. Robert Jones, has donated to ActBlue in 2024. That's despite the fact Alberta Jones says she's only donated to Republicans, including Trump and the RNC, and she has the receipts to prove it. How much do you donate a year, approximately?
Probably $600 to $700.
And
closer to the election, I could give up to $1,000.
And who, say again, who you donate to?
To Trump, primarily Trump Save America.
Trump Save America. And when did your husband, Robert, pass away?
July the 12th, 2018.
Well, according to the FEC website, it says that your late husband is donating to ActBlue in 2024. It says
No
that...
way, no way.
It says...
Oh, man.
Friends of Bernie Sanders...
Yep.
April of 2024, $10.30 a month, monthly.
Monthly month. I can tell you, I wouldn't bother to write a check for $10.
This is ActBlue, Friends of Bernie,
Okay, so dead Trump supporters donating to ActBlue, and we have James O'Keefe, who is paying citizen journalists $3,000 to go to the website.
.info, and you're gonna, let's say you want to go knock on a door in your neighborhood and expose the ActBlue situation. You go to electionwatch.info, and you're going to scroll down and see a map of the United States. You're going to click on the state in question, let's say it's Florida, and you will see the top names of the number of transactions, and get a copy of their bank statement, make sure it's redacted. I will personally pay you $3,000 for that video.
Oh, wow. You got your marching orders, Patriots. And if that doesn't make you question every political donation that you've ever made, I don't know what will. This ActBlue scandal is just the tip of the iceberg, and you can bet we will be digging deeper. Remember, when it comes to politics, follow the money. It always tells a story, and right now that story is looking pretty damning for the Democrats. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and keep those critical thinking caps on, because in this era of digital donations and campaign finance loopholes, your hard-earned money might just be funding causes you never intended. Keep watching Raw Feed, because we are not done unraveling this web of financial deceit. The truth is out there, and we are going to find it. All right, let's check in. Let's check in to the chat. What do you guys think about that? Holy cow. $3,000 is what he's going to pay you. Who's going to sign up for that? Tap 1. If you're going to sign up for that, tap 1 in the chat room. I want to see what kind of army we have out there that is ready to take on this ActBlue fundraising scam. Wow. Zombies here in Michigan are blue, says Edwin. It's like a bounty hunter, says Sastion. Definite scam, says Shelley. Our Boyd, if you'd like to donate to N3, click info into the Rumble link and donate there. Thank you, our Boyd. Deceased donating and voting, kneepad blue. I watched a report of an elderly woman who lives on Social Security, lives in an apartment where the rent is close to $2,000. Supposedly she donated over $1 million over 1,000 times. Wow. $1 million over 1,000 times. This is what we're up against, folks. And we've got some more breaking news we're going to bring up after this next story related to that astroturfing campaign that is now in overdrive. But first, I want to get into our next topic, which is frightening. The return of monkeypox and the potential election impact. So brace yourselves, folks, because we're about to dive into a story that's giving us some serious 2020 flashbacks. That's right, monkeypox is back on the scene, and the timing couldn't be more suspicious. The World Health Organization is calling emergency meetings, and there is now talk of a new public health crisis, and all of this just happens to be ramping up as we get closer to the election. Sound familiar? Well, we will break it down the facts, exposing the fear-mongering, and ask the question on everyone's mind. Is this another attempt to manipulate the election through public health panic? Stick around because this story could be the key to understanding what's really at stake in 2024. So as we face potential new health scares, it's crucial to take control of your environment. While the powers that be are busy declaring emergencies, you can declare energy independence with our sponsor's amazing Power Saver device. With energy bills hitting record highs and 20 million households behind on payments, this plug-in device is a game changer. It reduces unnecessary energy waste, lowers your bills, and ensures a consistent, safe power flow to your home. Don't let greedy utility companies or government overreach leave you in the dark. Visit don'twastepower.com for a 60-day risk-free trial and 65% off. Take control of your energy use today. Now let's jump right into this story. Okay, are you ready for this, Patriots? Tim Adams, 3 hours ago, posting PSYOP 22. World Health Organization's Tedros, I have decided that the global monkeypox outbreak represents a public health emergency of international concern. International concern. Political moonshine. Monkeypox reemerges to potentially impact the election. World Health Organization director considers declaring public health emergency over monkeypox virus outbreak. Declaring a PHEIC is the first step in declaring a pandemic. It was also the first step in stealing the 2020 election. Zero Hedge reporting on this. Let's jump into that. World Health Organization director considers public health emergency. The World Health Organization Director General said the United Nations health body is considering declaring an emergency for monkeypox, Mpox, amid an outbreak in Africa. More funding and support for comprehensive responses are needed. That's what the Director General said on social media. I'm considering convening an international health regulation emergency committee to advise me on whether the outbreak of Mpox should be declared a public health emergency of international concern. The statement that was published by the journal Science added that the virus can and must be contained with intensified public health measures, including surveillance, community engagement surveillance, treatment and targeted deployment of vaccines for those at higher risk of infection. A public health emergency of international concern is the strongest designation for an outbreak. Notably, such declaration was made for COVID-19 during the early onset of the pandemic in 2020. Later, the World Health Organization made the designation for an Mpox outbreak that lasted from 2022 to 2023, while President Joe Biden's administration declared an emergency over the virus. During that outbreak, which impacted Europe and the United States, officials say Mpox primarily spread via sexual contact between men. So, as long as you're not engaging in that type of behavior, you should probably be just fine. The latest announcement was made as the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said a report last week that Mpox has now been detected in 10 African countries this year, including Congo, which has more than 96% of all cases and deaths. So this is going on and on about what's happening there with monkeypox. Signs and symptoms, according to the U.S. CDC website, include a rash that might be located on the feet, hands, face, chest, and mouth, or near the genitalia. The rash can form scabs and initially look like blisters or pimples, which may be itchy or painful. Other symptoms include fever, swollen lymph nodes, chills, aches, exhaustion, and respiratory symptoms such as cough, nasal congestion, sore throat, according to the health agency. Vision for the blind. Here we go again. Monkeypox makes another appearance. Just in time. Insider paper, World Health Organization calls emergency meeting on Mpox spread. They announced Wednesday he was urgently convening an expert committee to advise on whether the growing outbreak in Africa should be declared an international emergency. So this is what's happening right now. The World Health Organization is considering a parallel steps that we saw right before the COVID pandemic. And we know how that turned out. The COVID pandemic provided the perfect opportunity to present the mail-in ballot scenario. Everyone stayed home. Everyone was afraid to go out, masked up, locked down, businesses closed. So mail in your ballots. There was no way to stop it. Truckloads of ballots overnight show up. We all wake up the next morning and Joe Biden is declared the winner. So, I mean, could this election get any crazier? We have an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And then we find out that there was another assassination plot that was foiled in New York the day before July 13th. And of course, you had the disastrous debate with Joe Biden, laying the groundwork for his ouster as the top of the ticket for the Democrat Party. Pressure campaign amplifies. Threats of the 25th Amendment. Obama, Pelosi, working in the back rooms. Biden gets COVID. Out of the public eye for days. People actually thinking he passed away. And during that moment, a letter digitally signed, doesn't even look like his signature, shows up on X. Supposedly his staff didn't even know, and he's out of the race. Doesn't endorse Kamala in that letter. Shortly thereafter, what happens? He endorses Kamala, and then the momentum starts to build. The AstroTurf campaign kicks into overdrive. Influencers getting paid. ActBlue donations start flying. Millions of dollars raised. The media reporting on poll numbers, saying the gap between Kamala and Trump has now been closed. And now you've got this? Can you imagine if they tried to do this again? Wouldn't put it past them. They are doing things so blatantly and so out in the open these days. They don't even care. Because there's no accountability in Washington, D.C. No accountability at all. And that is why we need to remain vigilant. We need to be aware, eyes open. And we need to get our feet on the ground supporting Trump at all costs. We have to beat the cheat. But if this happens, good Lord, I'm terrified. At 4 years of Kamala Harris. Tim Walz letting Minneapolis burn to the ground. Open communism. No fear. The country taken over without a shot fired. So be aware, friends. Be very aware. So there you have it, Patriots. Monkeypox might be coming back, but the real virus we need to worry about is the one infecting our democratic process. As we've seen time and time again, public health crises have a funny way of coinciding with major political events. Stay vigilant, question everything, and remember, your health decisions should be between you and your doctor, not dictated by bureaucrats with political agendas. Keep watching Raw Feed because we'll be monitoring the situation very closely. Whether it's a genuine health concern or another attempt to manipulate an election, You can count on us to bring you the unvarnished truth. The battle for our freedoms is never ending, and knowledge is our best weapon. Wow. Let's check back into the chat room and see what everybody is saying. I like the Democrat Party. This is on Rumble. I like the Democrat Party has a major virus. It is a virus. Woke mind virus is real. Train your kids to resist. We keep doing this to ourselves, says Robert. We keep doing this to ourselves. We can't set up a system that can help everyone financially forever. This is how much faith I've lost in humanity. We ain't going to let them have it. Trump 2024, says David. Karen says, this scares the H out of me. Trump's got to win. Get out and vote. Trump Vance 24. Thomas Jefferson, a quote from Crav Mike 08. Democracy is nothing more than mob rule, where 51% of the people may take away the rights of the other 49. Love you guys. Let's get into the next topic here. Okay. Where do we begin with this one? We've got the rally. We've got what's happening in Minnesota. I think we need to begin with, where is that? Okay. This is, I want to start with this. Topic 5. Kamala's rallies and media manipulation. All right, truth seekers, get ready to dive into the smoke and mirrors of political rallies. We're pulling back the curtain on Kamala Harris's seemingly packed events. What we found will shock you, from concerts disguised as campaign stops to paid influencers and suspicious social media engagement. We are exposing the tricks being used to manufacture momentum. But it doesn't stop there. We've got the inside scoop on how the mainstream media is pumping up Kamala's image while burying negative stories. Is this the biggest PR con job in political history? Stay tuned, because we are about to show you how the sausage is really made in modern politics. Now, in a world where appearances can be deceiving, it's crucial to have solid evidence on your side, and that's where our sponsors Cutting-Edge Dash Cam comes in. Just as we're exposing the truth behind political rallies, this device captures the truth on the road. With 4K Ultra HD night vision and 24/7 motion detection, it is your silent witness against accidents and false claims. Recent reports show that drivers with dash cams are 60% less likely to be found at fault in traffic accidents. Don't let manipulators on the road or in politics pull a fast one on you. Visit carvisionx.com for free express shipping and exclusive bonuses. Secure your driving future today. Okay, so I want to get into this. This was just posted, and of all places, this was broadcast on CBS. CBS. A Democrat influencer getting paid up to $10,000 per video by a dark money advocacy group to read pre-written scripts in her social media videos. Now, if you recall, Laura Loomer had just disclosed another incident where they were paying $150 for social media posts. This is next level. Now, we disclosed in a previous report a couple days ago that the DNC was paying influencers $20,000 to show up, just to show up at the DNC, at the event in Chicago. That's going to turn into chaos. But this is next level. $10,000 per video. You ready for this? Listen.
Warning. Last month, Sunday says she was hired by Protect Our Care, a progressive advocacy group that relies on anonymous donors. She made a video warning about Trump's second-term agenda.
They almost help you script it, right?
Right, definitely. She takes their talking points and puts them into her own voice, saying she always discloses when she's being paid.
What's your rate?
So a video just for a creator in my size, an average can go from $3,000 to $10,000 depending and upwards.
Last month.
What's your back?
Last month.
$10,000. Wow. Okay, here's this is Arizona State Senator Jake Hoffman has been contacted by an Instagram whistleblower with evidence of the Kamala Harris campaign reaching out to them offering money for their endorsement. We can discuss the details and compensation for your involvement. Over a series of 3 posts, we're inviting you to share what you admire about the Biden-Harris administration, what initiatives support, or simply why you believe in Kamala Harris. With Biden's endorsement, is the best candidate for the job. From now on, when you see any influencers irrationally supporting Kamala, just know they were paid. This is why we shouldn't bother trying to debate people like that Harry kid. They are being paid to lie. Social media users are being paid to post pro-Harris Walz content on Instagram. Here it is. This is the letter to Alicia. And you can see the bottom right there, compensation. Look at that. Over a series of 3 posts inviting you. Get paid to support national politics. And then this person follows up. Hey, I hope this message finds you well. I want to follow up on the email regarding the paid partnership. These people. Unbelievable. I want to continue with this because there is more, because we got this polling information. We've got some remarks from Vance. Of course, we saw what happened on the tarmac. And then we've got this video. This is really wild. See this crowd? This is a Kamala Harris crowd. And Ian Miles Chung says the turnout for Kamala Harris is as big as the turnout for Trump. What are your thoughts? Well, let's find out what the thoughts are, because Mr. Reagan posting another concert that Kamala is claiming as a campaign rally. This time it's a musician called Bon Iver. All the Democrats have our parlor tricks. Paid influencers. We're going to have a concert. And then Kamala's going to speak. Now, Colin, he was responding to Colin Rugg. Massive crowd gathers in Wisconsin for VP Kamala Harris and Tim Walz rally today. Eau Claire has a population of about 69,000 people. The crowd was heard chanting, "This is what democracy looks like." It's unclear what they were referring to, considering Kamala Harris was not democratically nominated and received no votes in the primary. But you can see this crowd. Massive crowd. But of course, they're all there for a concert. Here you go. Bon Iver performs at the Harris Walz rally in Eau Claire. Very cool. How much did you guys pay him? Yeah. Just like they're paying all these other influencers, right? Kyle Becker, this is the real reason for Kamala's huge crowd in Wisconsin today. Just like we all thought, Billboard #1 charting band Bon Iver with Justin Verno is performing at the rally. It also happens to be the band's hometown. So now you know. So when the media goes around and starts saying, "Look at the people, look at all the support she has. Oh wow." Just like they did with Megan Thee Stallion. They bring her out, she performs, and then the crowd starts getting up and leaving after the performance. They don't want to hear Kamala. She spoke for 15 minutes. Same situation here. I'm going to get this clip started in a second. But going back to the point about the paid influencers, this is another segment of that same CBS report. Junior Harris Walz staffer Rob Flaherty says relying on dark money to turn social media influencers into propaganda machines after they supply them with talking points, resources, and base language. This is from a staffer.
The Harris campaign. What kind of coaching do you give influencers acting on behalf of the Harris campaign?
Talking points, resources, base language.
While Flaherty says the Harris campaign does not pay influencers directly, CBS News found a constellation of other Democratic political organizations that do. In May, Future Forward, the super PAC supporting Harris, hosted panels like Gaming the Algorithm and how advocacy can benefit your business. What kind
So,
coaching?
Think about this. Oh, no, we don't pay them. We don't pay the influencers. They don't need to. All they have to do is provide the talking points. The official campaign talking points, publish them somewhere. Now, if you remember, I ran a super PAC, so I know how you can utilize, without having any communication with a campaign, how to utilize talking points, because talking points of a candidate are always available. You can go right to their website. You can lift them off the website. So they're probably just publishing these talking points. These third-party groups are going out there, funded by ActBlue, and then they're funneling all that money right into those influencers who show up in your Instagram feeds, show up in your TikTok feeds, show up in your YouTube Shorts feeds. And you're scrolling through, and all you see is Kamala Harris. And then the algorithm picks up the fact that there's more and more and more, and it keeps serving it, and all of a sudden you are brainwashed into thinking that Kamala Harris has all this support. Oh. That's the game. That's the game they're playing. And then those individuals who do get brainwashed into thinking, oh, look at this Kamala Harris trend. I'm going to do a dance. I'm going to do a wiggle. What do? I'm going to jump on this trend. I'm going to participate. I'm going to make a video too so I can get 1 million views like that guy did. Because it's funny. And I can use the same song that they use. And I'll be popular. And I'll get likes and follows and shares. So you got these brainwashed masses who are eating up these trends that are starting from the campaign putting out the talking points to these third-party groups. And it's on CBS News, of all places. Holy cow. Now, Insurrection Barbie really lays it out here, just as I presented. The Kamala momentum is a social experiment, PSYOP. You have the media carry these campaigns. You purchase social media and grassroots support with the money that you launder through ActBlue and pass off as more grassroots support. You pay rappers and celebrities and rally goers to present the illusion of popularity and keep the candidates hidden so they don't speak without a teleprompter. And while that may work to sway some people, and it will definitely demoralize our side because we are weak and ready to give up at the first chance we get, that's not our biggest problem. Our biggest problem is that they're using the entire Kamala is popular PSYOP to distract everyone from the real problem at hand, which is the rampant cheating that is going on in every state. We have illegals who are filmed on tape saying that they have been registered to vote. We have NGOs changing addresses, using dirty voter rolls to get extra ballots like Ohio. Michelle Obama and her not-for-profit having polling parties at 516 locations offering people entertainment, food, and drinks in exchange for votes. Mark Elias systematically dismantling election integrity laws in every swing state. He has won 7 lawsuits against the RNC in the past 2 weeks. Last but not least, we have a multi-million-dollar Democrat ballot harvesting and ground game operation that will leverage every single vote multiple times. This post goes on. It is very detailed. And she was responding to this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and retweet this because it's really strong. If you want, you can go to my channel, my X feed, and you'll see the post. Read it for yourself. It's very detailed. But she was responding to the pollster, Colin Rugg, posting, pollster Frank Luntz says Kamala Harris is now the front runner in the election. He says he would have picked Josh Shapiro over Tim Walz. Listen to this. So, the PSYOP is working.
Combination of her being...
Why do you think she picked him?
He's the safe choice. If I was in her situation, I would have gone with the governor of Pennsylvania because he definitely brings the state, and Pennsylvania is the largest of all the swing states that are out there. He would have provided more electoral votes. But let me emphasize, I do believe, and I understand the importance of what I'm about to say, that Vice President Harris is now the front runner in this race.
Wow.
I know that Trump people, their minds will explode.
Yeah.
But Harris has got the intensity. She's got momentum. She's bringing people back into the political fold that had left when Joe Biden was going to be the candidate. That Donald Trump has made a series of misstatements, that his vice presidential choice has not done well. And Tim Walz is a good speaker, very presentable, knows the issues, and mirrors her point of view. I still would not have done that because the goal right now is to win those states that matter the most, because we're not.
I can't stand Frank Luntz. Never liked him. But the fact that what he just said.
That Donald Trump has made a series of mistakes, what I'm about to say, that Vice President Harris is now the front runner in this race.
Okay. Now, why is she the supposed front runner? Well, the answer is quite simple. As I just presented to you, CBS revealing the paid influencer campaigns. And now we have, where's this? There's another post. This is it here. Another, Colin Rugg, 5 hours ago, Kamala Harris on the verge of flipping to be the favorite for 2024 election on the political betting website Polymarket. Harris' odds to win have reached all-time high as she closes in on 50%. And you can see this over time. Unreal. I have another post here I need to share with you guys. Legacy media pumping up Kamala. This is a new AI study that proves it. You ready for this? This is all these points are connected. A new AI study of 130,231 headlines from 550 news outlets shows Kamala is getting way more positive coverage than Trump. Imagine that. After Biden stepped aside, Kamala's media sentiment score shot up to 97 points, with headlines like Kamala Harris rapidly picks up Democrat support. Even though Trump had a brief rise in positive coverage after the assassination attempt. Remember that? No one's talking about that anymore, and that's buried in the news cycle. We almost lost President Trump. Even though Trump had a brief rise in positive coverage after an assassination attempt, Kamala's positive press continued to grow. Overall headlines from places like New York Times favored Kamala, while Fox News was more balanced. That's according to the Daily Mail. And there's your graph. This is all connected. Paid influencers creating the astroturfing, the artificial support online through donations from ActBlue. God knows where that money is coming from. Old ladies getting swindled, having to call ActBlue themselves and say, I had to make these donations. Some getting refunded, but we don't know where the rest of that money is coming from. Funneling into these influencer campaigns, creating the impression, and then the press runs with it. This is where we're at. I want to see if there's any other points I want to make. Okay, this was actually posted. Ready for this? I can't believe this, but Kyle Becker, President Joe Biden threatens that if Donald Trump wins the election, there will not be a peaceful transfer of power. This follows on Radical Raskin's warning about civil war condition if Trump wins. Asks the question, what is going on here?
If Trump wins,
are you confident that there will be a peaceful transfer of power in January 2025?
If Trump wins, no, I'm not confident at all. I mean, if Trump loses, I'm not confident at all. He means what he says. We don't take him seriously. He means it. All the stuff about if we lose, there'll be a bloodbath. Have be a stolen election. Look what they're trying to do now in the local election districts where people count the votes. They're putting people in place in states that they're going to count the votes, right?
Are you confident?
Yeah. This is all happening right now. There was the tarmac situation, the concert, the rally, people lined up. And this was another point I wanted to bring to your attention as well. DC Drano exposing Minnesota under Tim Walz is sending envelopes where you mark your party affiliation on the outside of the ballot. It's not just Minnesota. Democrats are setting the stage to rig the 2024 election. More states are asking you to check the party affiliation box. Wow. Let's see what they're saying.
Pamphlet, what party you're... Got our voters' pamphlets.
Hey.
Now you check on the outside of your pamphlet what party you're affiliated with. I mean, I guess that just makes it easier for him to toss away the red ones.
Yep. So, that's it. That's what's happening, folks. This is where we're at. It is all a propaganda psyop, influencing the American people through social media, funded through donors, ghost donors from ActBlue. Media picks up on it, runs with it. Concerts with headliners. And then you got people like Frank Luntz. Oh, she's the front runner. They're going to take that and they're going to run with that headline next. Folks, we are in a very serious situation here. We need all hands on deck. So if that doesn't make you question every crowd shot, every poll number, I don't know what will. And the lengths that some campaigns will go to create the illusion of popularity are truly staggering. But here's the thing. No amount of paid influencers or media spin can change the reality on the ground. You are the reality on the ground. Real enthusiasm cannot be manufactured. And real issues cannot be concerts away. As we head into November, remember to trust your eyes and your ears, not just what the mainstream media is feeding you. And keep watching the raw feed because we will be here cutting through the noise, exposing the tricks, and bringing you the unvarnished truth. The battle for the heart and soul of America is on. It's up to informed citizens like you to see through this charade. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and remember, in the world of politics, things are rarely as they seem. All right. Let's see what everyone is up to in the chat room. Wow. The mental reality, just dealing with this stuff every day into these headlines, it is mental terrorism. What is happening? Monkeypox coming back, paid influencers. Oh. But we're exposing it. I got to remember, this is what we're here for. We're here to expose these realities. You are here to carry the message. I am just one data point in this data stream of truth that I'm feeding you. You see, I've gone through how many posts tonight? Everybody is playing a role. Every X post, every comment, every retweet. But it really comes down to you. You guys are sitting here. You're watching this show. There's a reason you're here. It's because you love this country and you want to see things turned around. You're being affected. You're being affected by these disastrous policies. You know the truth. So it's up to you with what you do with it. Okay, let's see what's going on. Ronald says this is the Great Awakening. Running Bear carrying the torch. Lisa, voting for someone who ditches their military responsibilities is insane. He's not going to protect or work for America. He will look out for number one. That is how evil works. He said, win or lose, civil war, get ready. I hope not. Check your Gmail, says Gary. Yes, Angie is married. Why are you asking about Angie? Check your Gmail. Okay, I'll check that. Ronald says, I rock. Thank you for that. Planet says, God help us. N3, make Angie great again. Yes, we are working. Make Angie great again. Actually, we're going to work on bringing her into the show. We just got to get the schedules to line up and bring her in. Final Blast says, this is why I watch N3 and InfoWars all the time. Information is the best weapon against tyrants. Amen. Wow. You want me to... Oh, I cannot divulge what I sent Gary in chat. Okay, I'll check my email right now as we're sitting here and see what this is all about. Where are we? Just a moment, checking the mail. Not sure I see anything here. From you, Jeremy? Maybe in my spam folder? I am not sure. I don't see anything here. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not seeing anything in my other mail. I've got so many mailboxes. Okay. Well, folks, it's been a long show. We've covered a lot of ground, and I'm very thankful that you have all tuned in. We have taken a wild ride through the treacherous landscape of American politics, and I don't know about you, but I'm more fired up than ever. From Kamala's VP pick scandal to the ActBlue money laundering scheme, from the return of monkeypox to the smoke and mirrors of campaign rallies, we have pulled back the curtain on the machinations that are shaping our nation's future. But here's the thing. The show is not just about exposing the truth. It is about empowering you, the American people, to take action. Knowledge is power, and tonight we have armed you with information the mainstream media does not want you to have. So what do we do with this knowledge? We spread it far and wide. Share the stream with your friends and family. Engage in discussions. Question the narratives being fed to you by the mainstream media, and most importantly, stay vigilant, stay informed. Remember, the battle for the soul of our nation is not fought just at the ballot box. It's fought every day in conversations, in local communities, and in the choices we make as consumers and citizens. So if you found value in tonight's show, Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, drop a super rant if you're on Rumble. And if you are feeling fired up, hit the donation links in the description because your support keeps us digging for the truth and bringing it straight to you unfiltered and uncensored. This is Gary Franchi signing off for the Raw feed, but our work isn't done. It is just beginning. Stay free, stay American, and keep feeding your mind with the Raw feed because in these turbulent times, an informed citizenry is the best defense against tyranny and deception. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your mind sharp, and your love for this great nation burning bright. Good night, and God bless America.
Got